Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video I'm going to take a look at a bit more experimental archetype, the Midrange Warrior. If you've been around Hearthstone for a longer period of time, you remember that Tempo Warrior and Dragon Warrior were basically mid-range warrior decks that were quite dominant at one point in the game's history, but they have really fallen out of favor some time ago already, and it doesn't look like they're going to make a comeback. However, I was still interested in the subject, so I spent some time figuring out what kind of mid-range warrior could be viable in today's meta. First, a word of warning, I played this deck around rank 5, rank 4. I ended up with 53% win rate. So obviously that win rate is not sufficient for efficient climbing. So I cannot really recommend this deck for climb, but it can be something that's fun. And if you win at least a little bit more than half of your games, well, then fun doesn't come at the expense of losing every single game. So what does it take to make Midrange Warrior work? Warrior's early game is really weak. So in fact I felt that I was eventually forced into playing with pirates. So there's a small pirate package in this deck, just first mate, patches, deckhand and captain. So not full-blown pirate warrior, but just something to get you started, get you going in that early game. And there's also the advantage of Nezot's first mate, because it equips a weapon for you that it buffs the lesser mithril spellstone, which this deck also utilizes. So whenever you equip a weapon, when you have a spellstone in hand, you have to have it in hand already, then it will summon more golems up to a maximum of 3. And there are a few buffs for this in this deck. So there's Nezot's first mate, there's 2 copies of Bloodrazor, Unidentified Shield can sometimes give you a weapon, and then there's Scourgelord Garrosh and Malkorok, an old Tempo Warrior stable which has really fallen by the wayside, and I can see why. Malkorok is a decent card, it's not bad even in the current meta, but it's not really good either, so it's kind of mediocre. Sometimes you get some really nice weapons from it, and there are no really bad ones that are usually coming out now, so it's okay, but nothing too spectacular. But because of the synergies with the spellstones, I wanted to run with it anyway in this build. Warrior also doesn't have a lot of good 2-drops, so I felt kind of forced in the end to run Prince Kelazet. Running something like Golakka Crawlers and Executes is something that I have done in some other mid-range builds, but I just felt like there are not that many pirates in the meta after all right now. There are pirate decks, but there are also quite a lot of decks that don't run pirates, like some priest builds, warlock builds. And then running that Golakka Crawler just doesn't give you enough of a tempo swing to justify running that over running the full pirate package yourself. The deck features quite a few synergies between whirlwind effects and things, so you have Frothing Berserk, which is the big threat that you can actually win games with. And you also have Bloodhoof Prey, which isn't that bad in many matchups. Going from 2/6 into a 5/5 with a whirlwind effect. It can be an effective threat in addition to being just a thing that blocks other things from hitting your face. Because the deck is not very fast, and there's also Tar Creeper in order to help defend a little bit. And there are a couple of whirlwind effects that try to take a little bit of the sting away from the fastest aggro decks in Ravaging Ghoul and Bloodrazor. And one of my favorite cards for Warrior is the Grimy Gadgeteer, and I have really been trying to find a deck that this could work in, because this is basically a very mid-range type of card. Buffing up those random minions in your hand by a +2/+2 at the end of each turn really makes your opponent want to remove this, so if you can stick this behind a taunt, for example, it can do some really nice things. And because every deck in Hearthstone right now has to have some semi-broken mechanics at least, then this deck is running this Spiteful Summoner. Spiteful Summoner will summon 6 or 7 drops in this deck. There are 3 spells in the deck, there are 2 copies of Lesser Mithril Spellstone and 1 Unidentified Shield. And part of the reason why the Unidentified Shield is in this build is that I found that running just 2 Spiteful Summoners and 2 Spellstones, like many people are doing in Pirate Warrior right now for example, didn't give me enough reliable results. I often managed to draw the Spellstones before I found the Summoners, or something like that, but when I added a 3rd spell, the Summoner became much more reliable and consistent. Finally, there's one charging wing condition in Grommash Hellscream, which can sometimes do some nice things to end games. So overall this is a bit of a slower build than a Pirate Warrior. You have some explosive early game, because you have some pirates and you have frothing. So with the right draw you can even play it out much like an aggro deck. But more typically you spend the early game stabilizing, fighting for the board, and then you come in the mid game, starting from these Bloodhoof Braves on 4, and the Spiteful Summoner Spellstones and stuff, and then really start to roll. There is enough speed in the deck to challenge some of those control decks with an aggro strategy, and you have enough taunts and defensive tools to take the control role against more aggressive decks. So that's kind of like the definition of what a mid-range deck is. Against control decks you try to go all out, against aggro decks you try to hold back and defend and then swing. I've prepared a bunch of gameplay material for you, and as always, if you enjoy this video then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. Now let's go take a look at some Midrange Warrior gameplay. Is it too greedy to keep a Spellstone? I might try. I have not been able to actually play a Spellstone once in now more than 10 games with this archetype. I guess we're closing in on 20 games with this archetype and I have not been able to play a Spellstone. One of my favorite cards. Oh, Frothing. Yeah, Frothing is awesome. I'm still waiting for the opportunity to first time actually play that Spellstone. Wait, I played the Spellstone against the Quest Mage. Yeah, I actually did play the Spellstone once. Well, this hand. Everything that costs 6 mana from my deck is currently in my hand. Now Southsea Captain top deck and we're good. That is not good. That means we're losing the entire board now. Well, I suppose we even need to trade. Because if I don't trade, then he trades with the dagger. Then I can't even clear these minions. Whereas now I could clear these minions and maybe I can do something with the Cochrane. Or I could top deck something. I want to coin Spiteful Summoner on 5. That's my ticket back into this game. So this turn has got to be this. I can't coin the Cochrane because I don't have a play for turn 4. It's going to be Spiteful Summoner on 5, Spiteful Summoner on 6 and Spellstone on 7, and then we'll see if that's enough. Okay, I can wipe this board. That's good. Go in with the Cochrane. Cochrane kills the captain. And I kill the Swashbuckler. Alright, we have lived to this point. Next 3 turns we're just going to jam minions out there. And then we'll see how many Vilespine Slayers he has. I will probably be in trouble if he has a Bone Marrow or something as well, but if only this was 5 damage. Alright, here we go. 9-5 is not bad. But Vilespine? Well, that's not a Vilespine. Then he probably has to trade with the 5-5, right? I mean, he can't leave that 9 attack on the board. Can he? He thinks he can. Wow, the greed. The greed is real. If I play the Blood Razor, if he has a Bone Mare in hand, actually if I play the Blood Razor, I can wipe everything and have this on 3 health. Do I want to activate the Blood Razor's Whirlwind effect next turn? I want to activate that with Grom, right? Do I want to play around Bone Mare? there's also the possibility of Wilespine. I think I'm doing it like this. Let's do it like this, actually. If he plays Bone Mare, he still has to trade with the Kelesset. If he doesn't play Bone Mare, like if he Wilespines this, we'll see. Well, Wilespine Slayer would be no Wilespine. That's good. But now he has to have something like an SI7. Oh, I like this one too. This is fine. But there's no Wilespine in his hand. There can still be a Bone Mare. Well, a 10 health admin is pretty good. So that's how much damage? That would be 13, 14, 15 damage. I'm at 21. Leroy is lethal. Did he calculate Leroy lethal play here? I have 10 from Grom, I would need 9 otherwise to kill him next turn. I could try to roll from Spiteful Summoner. I think I give him his Leroy out. If there's a Leroy coming, he wins. So we'll see. Leroy wins the game for him now, if he has it. That's a really big Edwin. You don't usually see them that big. That was nice. But if he has to start trading, I win. Leroy. Best kind of Leroy. I'll try to keep the taunt minions. Well, where's the Mana Worm? It's another quest mage, and this is different. The previous one was called Lino. Well, that's interesting. I guess we're coining the Kelesset, because then I can pull a 2/2 patches from the deck. Even if I float mana, then I still get a better minion out there. So let's try this one. Okay, I don't mind a Fire Blast on that. Oh, Captain. Well, Captain can only come down next turn. Let's see what we can do. Now he should, if he wants to ping again, he should ping the Pirate now. Because Pirates can be buffed. Yes, correct play. That's nice. And then Pirates are buffed. We keep hitting face. What if he has Frost Nova Doomsayer? I don't have a way to deal with that. Okay, he gets a mirror image. I'm cool with that, because I have a bunch of taunt minions anyway. I can just play my taunt and keep punching him in the face. That's cool. The Conjure is a little less effective. Now he can play the mirror image. Conjurer cannot attack into this one. Ooh, an Artificer. Double Artificer, that's sweet. Oh, that's really sweet. That's a lot of armor. And even more coming next turn, I believe. So I suppose I want to kill one of the Artificers now. Because he's going to play something like a Blizzard next turn. And he would have gotten 12 health. Now he only gets 6. Top deck Blizzard. Best kind of Blizzard. That's real beauty. Love the top deck Blizzards. Can't kill the Artificer. But I can play a Spiteful Summoner. Let's see. 7/7. He's healed up to 24 already. And he's going, oh, 2 blizzards. Well, first 10 cards, Frost Nova and 2 blizzards. That is pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet value. So I want another taunt out there. Do I want the Frothing out there now? Because I could also play the gadget here. I think I want the Frothing out there. I haven't equipped any weapons, so the Spellstone is not activated. He's pretty low on cards, so now he wants to find some card draw. But he has a lot of life, because he had Frost Nova into 2 blizzards. And double Artificer to protect himself. So he's quite likely to find enough card draw cards to get to a better position from here. Yeah. Already starting to get some of that effect going on. Oh man. It's only less than half of the time that you find a freeze from the Primordial Glyph. So he was unlikely to get that. But sometimes they just hit all the right marks. Frothing will go down to 2 health, but both blizzards are gone. So I think that's what I'm going to try here. I'm going to Blood Razor into Ghoul. I mean, he has to be able to deal with the Frothing somehow next turn. Or otherwise he's just going to take so much damage. We'll see if he can deal with it. Okay, because there's lethal on board. He has already spent 2 blizzards, Mirror Image, Artificers, Frost Nova and a Cone of Cold from Primordial Glyph. So the probability that he finds yet another freeze effect is very, very low. Well, that sucks now, doesn't it? It really, really does. Probably want the golems out there. Let's see. He has spent all 4 natural freezes from his deck, as well as an extra Cone of Cold. Make world's biggest Frothing. I'm trying to do that. But it's difficult. He's setting up for his combo, and he has another 2 turns because he has an ice block in hand. I will of course be able to... oh, and another secret that I don't know what it is. So he's at 32. Let's go in with this one first. Okay, so it's not a barrier. He's at 28 now. 10, 23, 28. Oh, I hit this one first, so that one becomes 25. This is the play. That's the play that I can use to pop him at 1. Okay, but he has too much time, because he still has another ice block, and the quest is at 3 out of 6. Maybe he doesn't have enough time. I just need to not do anything special. I don't want to give him anything from Mana Bind or anything really. I just want to wait and see if he has what he needs this very turn. 3 out of 6 into the quest. But he doesn't have the mana to play a Cabalist Tome. I guess I can keep a captain. we're still going in. Because who knows what kind of druid this is. I might need the minions. I can't buff the minions to 2 health next turn. That's a little bit annoying. I would love to buff them up, but it's not possible to do that yet. I guess I'm playing another first mate here. Because I have the captain coming. So that turns all of these into 2/2s. And he cannot swipe yet. He can of course hero power down 1 if he likes. Alright, I don't mind Jade Blossom. Now we get to play the captain. So now we survive a swipe. Of course swipe still hurts, because it leaves me with 3 1/1s. But at least they will live. Dirty rat. Now that's a surprise. Do I let the captain down to go down to 1 health? Why would you have Dirty Rat in that deck? If I play the Bloodhoof Brave I could. Then he cannot hero power it down. He can still Spellstone it. I haven't seen him hero power once, so he could have a Spellstone in hand. But we're going in with this line now. That preserves the most minions on the board. Not a great board to swipe, because swipe kills this one easily. But then these ones go down to 1 health only after the swipe. And he can't hero power down the captain because I have a taunt minion up. Oh, he has Innervate into Spreading Plague. I see. Yeah, that's pretty sweet when you got that. Well, that would make swipe a lot more difficult to deal with. I guess if he finds swipe, he probably wins from this point. I'll kill that one. But I guess I can afford to hit there. Do I let go of my captain? I could take down 1 more of these. Then I would have, these would all be down to 1 health. But they're almost already. But he has not had a swipe. I think I'm fine with this board state. Let's see what happens next. Because I have a pretty good read that there is no swipe. So I like to try to preserve some damage on the board. No Spellstone either. Alright, this is good. So now I can trade. Wait, I can use this one to trade 1, right? Yes. This one trades for 1 that's at full health. This one trades away 1 that's at 3 health. This one and the weapon trade 1 that's full health. I guess I'm using the 2-1 now to trade away that fellow. Also make some room on my board. These guys are going face and then I Spiteful Summoner. Let's do it like this. I'll pick up, well, Tarlord is not very good offensively. So it doesn't really help me kill him, which is my goal after all. Malfurion with the taunts, I assume. Yup, with the taunts. Ooh, another captain, that's a good pick. So I play the captain. I guess this one kills 1 of those.
Start running.
Spiteful Summoner and the Tar Lord kill another. And the rest go face. Alright, this is the way we roll. Has he found a second copy of Spreading Plague? Now I have a 9/9 Ravaging Ghoul in hand. Ravaging Ghoul is getting pretty big. He really needs another Spreading Plague. He doesn't have it. But now, as you can see, now is the time that my luck is at its end. Opponents drawing nuts, I'm drawing patches. This is the kind of stuff you don't recover from. But that just happens some games. I don't think there's a point for me to play patches yet. I could use that together with a captain later. That 1 damage is hardly significant. So this is the big priest. That would be a surprise. I guess I can hit with the weapon. Not going too well. Well, he mulliganed all the cards, so it's very difficult to find out what he is. Oh, it's alright. Why would he take that trade when he knows I have patches in hand? Interesting. I don't want to play patches there. I don't think I gain anything from it, and if I play the Corcoran next turn, I will have the mana next turn too. This is a Spiteful Summoner Priest, it has to be. Well, there's my captain. So captain and patches. Yeah, let's take some value from the patches now that I can. I can use it and kill that minion. We'll see. We're getting dangerous. I mean, he has kept the coin all this time, so he wants to coin the Spiteful Summoner. He wants to coin the Spiteful Summoner that he top-decked on 5. He's omniscient. He knew that he would top-deck this on 5 so that he can coin it out. I didn't see that coming. I also didn't see it summoning a Grand Archivist that would then cast a free from Amber that then gives him a King Togwaggle. Yeah, I think that was that game. It was a good game. We had a lot of fun. Is there any way to come back from this? I mean, I can kill the Grand Archivist. The winning play is to kill the Archivist so that he cannot get more spells played. Then we'll see if he has another... I mean, if he has another Spiteful Summoner in the hand, he plays it now. Or otherwise he just saves the coin for the chance that he top-decks it by 5. I mean, what a plan. That's like playing your deck instead of playing your hand. Yeah, he didn't have it. He just didn't have anything, but he just... yeah. Well, we played a pair of 5/5s, but it's not going to help me, because now he can play a Bone Mare. I mean, he has to have a Bone Mare too, right? He already had 2 Corridor Creepers, top-deck the Summoner. Yeah, there's the Bone Mare. Top-decked on 6, by the way. Ah, that thing of beauty. Yeah. I think I'll give it a try. If it's Aggro Druid, then this is terrible, so you can always argue that you should mulligan for the more aggressive version, but I've just been facing only Jade Druids recently, so I'm taking that read and rolling with it for now. Do want to play the deck, and I want patches out of my deck. I don't want to draw patches. Scourge of Chaos is really good versus Void Lord. Sometimes. Not always. It has to be some kind of Jade Druid or something like that. I have the Tar Creeper that protects the patches. Yay! Save the patches, it's golden! Don't let it get damaged! That's a Jade Druid, alright. Quite surprised by the 1/1. Gadgeteer time. Does he have a swipe? I guess we'll find out eventually. 4/8 Bloodhoof Brave. I like that one. He does have the swipe. Macro could not be replaced with some minion more useful. Stop, and Macro has been doing fine. Not in these latest games, but overall, it's just one more way to activate the spell stone. And it's good to have ways to activate the spell stone. If you want to play with the spell stone. And I don't want to play with the Fiery War Axe, which would be an alternative way to activate it. Rotface, no. Rotface doesn't fit this deck. It's there for the weapon synergy, and also Malkrok gives some really good weapons. I have won several games because of Malkrok. Not on stream right now, but overall when playing this deck. Alright, I guess it's Spiteful Summoner turn. What else could I do right here? Always has to be Spiteful Summoner. Alright. Next turn is most likely going to be Blood Razor. So I get the Spellstone upgraded and I set that up ready for Grom. How much do I care about this board? But you have a lot of whirlwind effects. Well, not exactly a lot. I do have some. So I play Blood Razor, trade. Is the rest going face? No Ultimate Infestation next turn yet. So I trade there. I think I will trade away the 2/1, right? Yeah, let's give him a little bit less damage coming in. And these ones will push face. Put him down to 10. 10 sounds like a good number. Because I have Grom next turn with the attack with this. No Ultimate Infestation yet. There could of course be a Spreading Plague. He has not had armor, so he doesn't have upgraded spell stones. So unless he gains armor this turn, there's no spell stone to kill the Bloodhoof Brave. Now Furion is pretty good. Now he can play a spell stone too. So that's 15 to more than 15 to face. That's lethal. That's nice. So kill off this one, kill off that one. 17 to face. So King Mosh is more suited for a control deck, which doesn't care about its own board. I care about my own board too. So King Mosh is less useful here. Oh, it's an Aggro Druid. That's interesting. I mean, I have to kill this. Too bad I whiffed on turn 2. He might even consider hero powering down the patches to play around Captain. If he doesn't have something else going. But I guess he does. That's a good one. I guess I need to start punching it right away. play the captain, hit it. Next turn I can play the Blood Razor. I assume Patches will die anyway. So Blood Razor might be enough to push through. And Blood Razor is enough to push through. What do you know? Too bad I can't kill the captain too. Can I afford to wait? He can't play Living Mana yet next turn. He could play some buffs. It's probably fine. Let's get rid of it now that I can. I'm just really concerned that that Crypt Lord grows so big that I cannot kill it. Now even if it has one buff, I can still hit the captain unless he plays more taunts. That's a mark of jAtfrAgA, right? Yeah. That's what it looked like. Hoof-Brave, and then we kill that one. But then we have a 5-5 against his 3-4. That looks favorable to me. And then I have a Spiteful Summoner coming up next turn. Double Direwolf Alpha is not bad. This is still fine. Spiteful Summoner or Dark Reaper Frothing. I guess we're going with the Spiteful. Let's see what we can find from this one. Get a 7-drop.
The menagerie is for guests only.
Not bad, we even found a taunt. Then I have a Spellstone. If I delay the Spellstone, I can get 3 golems. I wonder if that's going to be useful. Buffs are going to be coming pretty soon. I might go Dark Reaper Frothing next turn into Scourge Lord and then the Spellstone. That might work out. So, well, that's going to... Okay. That was pretty good. 2 5/5 golems doesn't really challenge this board. I think I'm going with this line now. And then I will go Scourge Lord next turn. If he doesn't have Living Mana, if he has something else, then Scourge Lord should be able to do a pretty good job. And then I can Spellstone 3 5/5s. We can kill that one. But then how about the Frothing? You still want to deal with the Frothing. He has the Living Mana. That's nasty. Oh, that's really nasty now. Well, if he has Savage Roar, I will die. Simple as that. It's Scourge Lord time. I'm going to... Yeah, I'll play a couple of more games at least. So that's 12 damage. If he has a buff... But that card is a recent one. So there's no reason for me to assume anything about it. I think the Frothing is just going face. I might even have some kind of lethal setup for next turn. Obviously if he has Savage Roar. If he just top deck Savage Roar last turn, he wins the game here. Well, those were some quality top decks. Absolutely. Can't complain. Well, top decking Taunt and Buff into subsequent turns. Tower Shield makes life interesting. How do I clear this board? I probably have to Whirlwind and hit there. So that I can Whirlwind this away next turn. Then I will take 14. Any good top deck and I die.
I must choose.
Well, that's life.
Time passes.
I think I need to Whirlwind. That ensures that I can kill the Druid of the Swarm next turn, if he doesn't draw a buff. Dead to Savage Roar. Not actually dead to much else, but let's see. He needs a big... Oh no! Well, that was the big one he needed. That was the big one he needed. Taking away the weapon. Down to 11. He'll have 10 on board. He's 1 damage off. I could spend the Korkron. I can force him to trade into Frothing if he doesn't have lethal. That buys me some time. So if he doesn't have lethal, he will have to kill the Frothing. Now he has 5, so he needs another 6. I mean, he has to kill the Frothing, right? He thinks he doesn't. No, he does. He does. Alright. Now we're turning this around. Let's Whirlwind and make 3 5/5s. I'm at 9, he has 3 available right now. Savage Roar is still lethal. One more turn for him to top deck Savage Roar. Mark of the Lotus is not. He's at 24. He gets me down to 4, but Savage Roar is only 3 when there are no minions. Time to check out what Malkorg is going to give me. True Silver Champion. What do you know? What do you know? I can even trade the minions away. I have the leisure to do that. Good old Malkorg. So unappreciated. There's the Savage Roar. One turn too late. One turn too late. Phew. That was a close one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.